Hello everybody, just saying hello, make sure you're all safe and well. Um, I'm feeling okay, sun's out again now, a bit better. I've done all I can at the moment with the guitars. I really want to finish off my Les Paul now, but I can't, I haven't got any room to put it safely, so it's just going to have to stay in two pieces a little bit longer. I hope the people who are subscribing to me are enjoying the videos. I'm sorry I'm not moving about much at the moment, but I'm quite settled in the area where I am, and it's not worth going over the same things with the videos. So until I either get another drone and change the aspect of my videos, I'll just keep doing other little meaningful videos to me, i.e. the guitars or making me stews or things like that. I'm sure I can find something to diversify at the moment. There's talk about the lockdown changing slightly, but I really don't think the car boot sales in this area I'll be starting off now this year. I think now they've missed the start date. The farmers and that have allocated the fields for something else, so I don't think anything's gonna go ahead really this year. And we'll just have to wait and see. It's a shame really, because I'd like to get out there and get rid of some of this stock. I've got what do you do? I can't do anything. Everybody's in the same boat, aren't we? We're all stuck, so I'll just have to put up with it and see how things lie. But there's one good thing about it: we're not doing a lot of travelling. I ain't chucking money in the diesel tank unnecessarily. I did a total of 28 miles last month, and it's probably looking I'll be doing about the same this month. I'm still in the same lay-by that I've been in now for the last 30, oh God, must be 37 days now. It looks like I'm going to spend the rest of this month here as well. I did have the police call on me. I've had them a few times. Some come up on Sunday, and I thought, oh, here we go, they're going to ask the same questions, and they actually stopped and said, everything okay? Are you feeling okay, etc., etc.? Yeah. I said, yeah. I said, we're going into town. Is there anything you want from the shops while we're there? We'll get it for you and bring it back. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? And I know we're all slagging the police off at the moment because majority of them are being very bombastic, and they're just spoiling for a fight, a lot of them. But this couple were absolutely brilliant, you know, and they had the time to come and talk to me, make sure everything's okay. And then when they offered to go and get me something if I needed it, it was brilliant. And they asked if it was okay for me prescriptions and my medicines and things like that. I thought, no, it's great. It's surprising how people can be so different, you know. I did mention a couple of weeks ago when I got stopped when I was just slightly out of the area, and them two were real bombastic bastards. You know, if you'd met them in a pub, you would have stood up against them and had a go at them, because they were just spoiling for a fight to get an arrest. Uh, it was pitiful to see, and it's such a shame that they're using these strong arm tactics against people. Um, it's just not necessary, you know. If they want respect, talk to us with respect. They should take a leaf out of the couple that come to me on Sunday and talk to people the way they talk to people. You know, they didn't ask me name, they already knew it, I would have presumed anyway. Um, they didn't ask anything about me. They knew where my van was registered because I did tell them, and you could tell by the Ray little smile that they'd already done a check on it anyway. So they were well aware of me. But the point is, they didn't come laying the law down, or if they knew the law, trying to lay the law down and tell you something stupid. out of section, whatever. Um, they were genuinely nice people, and yeah, they were great. More of them come, the better, you know. And they're the sort of people, if you met in the street, you would stand there and talk to them. But the other ones, you wouldn't. It's no wonder people want to hurt them. And when this is all over, I really do believe somewhere there's going to be a lot of payback in one form or another. I really do. The biggest majority of them have overstepped the mark, and people we just won't take it. We can only take so much. You know, we're all in a bloody situation. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. The last thing we want is somebody trying to put you in bloody handcuffs just because you told them to mind their own business, you know. But that's what it's coming to. If you don't comply to their wishes and answer their questions, they'll look at something and find something. You know, if you're in a vehicle, they'll look around your vehicle looking for faults and ask you questions about, have you got the right insurance, have you got this, have you got that, have you been drinking, or I can smell the bloody weed in your van. Christ, I've not had a joint for years, you know. They find something. If you're arrogant and aggressive towards them, which in all honesty I don't blame anybody being like that, because they are arrogant and aggressive to you from the word go. It's no good afternoon, sir, or good morning, sir, we're just wondering what you're doing here. It's more of what you're doing here. You're not supposed to be here, you know. You're on lockdown. Why are you here? Before they even find out why you're here, you know. It's just not right. And I know it's the same all over, and no matter where you are. I mean, this crap about them giving people tickets for sunbathing in their own gardens, for fuck's sake. Sunbathing on your own property in your own garden, and they're trying to tell you you can't do it. You can't sit around and do nothing. We can't do anything. We can't go out, and they're trying to limit you going out. This is the police, not the government. They're trying to limit you going out. Oh, I'm sure we've seen you once before up the road having a walk an hour ago. You should only come out once a day. You shouldn't come out once a day. There's no stipulation about coming out once a day. You can go for exercise as much as you see fit. You know, I mean, if you're training for a marathon, you're not going to walk 100 yards and back and think, oh, that's my exercise for the day. You're going to go for a run. And does it really matter if it's a mile run or a 5-mile run? If that's your form of exercise, that's your form of exercise, isn't it? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really aggravates me. It does, and it's worse for. I mean, I'm getting on a bit now anyway, as we all know. It's worse for people that are older than myself, and they're stuck in the house, and they're totally confused about what they can do. So they don't do anything. They sit in the house. They're scared of going out of the house to the bleeding shops. They're scared of going out of the house to walk the dog. I'm on about, you know, the pensionable age people who are just getting totally confused about it all, because there's so much crap coming off the radio and off the TV from people who should know better, making it all doom and gloom. You can't do this, you can't do that. Old people don't understand that. You know, they're probably more compliant than us through fear. At least my age group, the younger age of retirement, which by the way is only next year for me, is slightly more aware of what's going on and what we can do. But the slightly older generation, they just don't know what to do. It's as easy as that. You don't see any old people out having a walk, walking the dogs. Well, mind you, nobody's moving, so I was going to say you don't see them standing at the window, curtain twitching, watching what's going on. You see them by their absence. They're just not out. I mean, I move once a week I go park up, I go and do my shopping, I get my water, I get a fuel for my generator, then I walk into town, which is about a mile away from where I usually park up, to take my my rubbish, like to the bottle bank and the cardboard bank and things like that. So I get a walk and I don't see anybody. If I'm lucky, I go and snatch a quick walk on the cliff tops, which isn't a problem, shouldn't be a problem, but I don't bother because I don't want them either, and I don't want somebody to get me back up because I sit and stew in it. You know, I don't like it when people tell me to do things, especially things that they've got no right to tell me. I, I won't retaliate nowadays. I would have done a few years ago. I'd go at anybody. Nowadays, I don't. I'm not compliant, don't get me wrong. If I don't think it's right, I won't do it. But I won't stand there and argue about it. I come back to base and I stew because it gets on me bleeding tits. I think, well, if I can't cope with it, and I'm pretty good at coping with that sort of crap, what's it like for the other people who really do not understand? You know, how can somebody attempt to find an old couple 30 pissing quid because they're holding hands or they're linking while they're having a walk? You know, social distancing. These people have probably been through 2 world fucking wars, and you've got some snotty-nosed little twat telling him you can't stand that close to each other. I'm going to take half of your pension off you now, and that's what it is. And it's not worth trying to explain to the people, the elderly people. You just can't do this. They know what they can do and what they can't do. They know they've got to stay in the house, but they probably don't understand the logic of why can't I link my wife or my husband, who I've been married to for the last 60 years, you know. If we're going to die, we're going to die together, not separated because of some virus. I don't know if it's me being ridiculous or not, but it really gets my back up. It really gets my back up. I sit in this lay-by and I know how many vehicles or how many vans are in this area. I know how many livers are in this area. This week there's been an increase in vans and motorhomes, and there's been at least 17 different vans that have gone past this road here that I haven't seen in this area before. So how are they getting out? How are they getting through the blockade when I get them coming here virtually every other day? They know I'm here, they know how long I've been here. So how do all these other vans appear? There's been 3 this morning that I've stopped in the lay-by that I've never seen before. Where are they coming from? How are they getting through the net? And yet, I guarantee if I wanted to go for a walk now, I wouldn't walk on this road anyway, but if I did, I'd guarantee I wouldn't get half a mile before I got pulled up and that's what I was doing. You know, that's what frustrates me. It really does. And they're hammering the younger people more than the older people. I can understand the frustration of some people where they just need to go out. All right, I'm not talking about the young knobheads in the car that bomb up and down here at 3 o'clock in the morning, hoping there's nobody about, with the boom boxes going and all that. That's always going to happen. I'm on about the genuine people who are at the end of the tether. They're stuck in the house with a family. The kids are screaming and kicking bleeding mayhem up and everything. The parents are not getting along because, you know, they're not used to it. You usually there's one at home or they're both at work and then they meet up for a short period. But to be under each other's feet 24 hours a day with a gaggle of kids and a couple of animals and a whinging wife or a whinging husband, it doesn't do anybody any good, does it? So you're bound to be at each other's throats. The kids can't understand why they can't go to the park. or especially around here, why can't we go walk on the beach or on the cliff tops? Why aren't we allowed to go out? What have we done wrong? They don't know. The kids, they don't know. Just like the unfortunate elder people, they probably know, but they don't understand why the limitations are so severe. You know, they understood when they were in the wars that it was detrimental to their health to go out in case they got bleeding shot or bombed. But they don't understand it now. They've been through all their woes and worries, you know. And don't anybody say it doesn't happen. It does happen. They are scared stiff of going out of the houses. They're scared stiff, and it isn't fair. And this is why some people are helping and getting deliveries, but if they have a stranger knock on the door, excuse me love, if you want some shopping, give me your £20 and I'll go and get your shopping for you. Yeah, okay. It's not going to happen, is it? They'll think, I'll give them my money, I need food, and they'll bugger off. So there's got to be a relationship built up somewhere with them anyway to get that sort of trust. And it's not right. It's not right. And another thing I don't understand is there doesn't seem to be any specific help for I'm going to say disabled people. You know, some people don't like being indoors. I don't like being indoors, but I can control it. Some people can't control it. You've got autistic children who don't understand anything. They want to sit out and feel the wind and hear the birds and be in their own little world, not inside a house under a bedspread chucked across the couch as if they're in a tent. They want to be outside and listen and hear things that appeal to them. They don't understand why they can't go out. Nothing's been said about this type of person. I'm not labelling anybody. I'm just waffling on here. Nothing's been said about that. It's helped the aged. Great, that's good. It's helped anybody who can't get out. But you can't go and talk to a child who doesn't understand anything and say, I'm sorry you can't get out, is there anything I can do for you? You know, would you like a recording of the birds in the trees? Would you like me to blow on your face so you think you're outside? Okay, that sounds a bit sarcastic, but I'm being truthful. It's genuine, because I know if I hit my limit and I think I can't cope anymore, stuck in this van, I will go out, and if all hell breaks loose, it breaks loose. I can only take so much. We can all only take so much. You know, there's no leeway, and these strong arm tactics of some of these so-called policemen, they're hiding behind the uniform. Yeah, and they know well we can't really retaliate because they're hiding behind the uniform. But the point is, when all this is over and some of them are off duty and they want to go out for a night with their missus in a pub, and they walk in the wrong pub and they see somebody who's got a grievance against them, it's payback time. It's as easy as that. What don't they understand? You know, it's give and take. It's give and take. You give us the politeness and understand our problems, not just me, our problems. I'm nobody special. I'm in a different situation to a lot of people. Is I'm not behind bricks and mortar. You know, oh, your van's registered 300 mile away, why don't you fuck off back? Because you won't let me move, and if I go back, I haven't got a home, bricks and mortar to go back to. You know, what don't you understand, mate? I'm not the only one who's out on the road as a traveller. You found plots of land for the for some of the Romanies and Gypsies to go, but you've done nothing for anybody else who's been caught in the conflict. I mean, there's probably half a dozen vans around here somewhere that live in Scotland or something down there, but they can't move. Okay, enjoy it, but they've closed all the campsites, so we can't get on a campsite. So we can't get facilities. We can't go to a campsite to get rid of our grey waste. We can't go to a campsite to get rid of our general rubbish, because if they've got a campsite, when you go on a campsite, part of your payment goes to the waste disposal and the bin men. You know, that's what you pay your campsites for. It's for your water, your electricity and the services, which is your grey water waste, the drainage, and your bag waste, recycling waste, etc, etc. None of them are open. There's no public toilets open, so we've got nowhere to go. You know, fortunately, I use my head. I've got friends just up the road here who allow me to use their drains. If I need to empty my toilet, I use their drains. But I'm not opposed to digging a deep hole somewhere and using my head, you know, putting all my waste down there if I have to, because we can't go anywhere else. The tips are closed, so, and they're going on about everybody chucking rubbish in lay-bys because they've got nowhere. They can't keep it in the back garden rotting and things like that. There's a house I walk past when I go into town, and most unfortunately, they must have been doing a house refit, because his mattress is in the back garden. There's chairs, there's furniture and everything that they would have probably been taking down to the tip, or the council would have been moving for them. But it's a bleeding big bonfire. It's a disaster to wait. It's a disaster waiting to happen. You know, it's unhygienic. It's certainly unhealthy, isn't it? And it only takes one idiot to think, oh, that'll make a nice fire. And of course, it's soaking wet mattresses all over the place. It's going to attract rats. It's going to attract everything. You know, but so people will throw the rubbish in the lay-bys. I've got 5 different vehicles that I've seen throw. It might only be Costa coffee cups, bits and pieces out of the window. I've got them. I have my video on 24 hours. I see what's going on. You know, it's all right, it's just a cup. But if everybody threw just a cup out, there'd be about 60 million cups in the lay-bys. There's a programme on TV about all the crap in the lay-bys. It was horrendous. But what do you want them to do? What do you want people to do? What do they want me to do? If they said to me, right, you cannot move from this spot for a month, we'll bring a month's supply of food for you. What am I going to do with the waste? Not only the toilet waste, what am I going to do with the tins, the packagings, the milk bottles? All that is going to go off. All the residue in them empty bottles and cans and whatever is going to start rotting and smelling and causing disease. Waste vegetable peelings, great. I throw them in the hedgerows. There's plenty of animals in this little bit of a coppice here in front of me. I can get rid of that. I don't have an issue with that. I do have an issue with holding 40 or 50 empty tins. I know that sounds a lot to you, but you know, tins unopened, that food will last forever. It's good to have emergency foods. I always shop, and my last week of the month I eat all my emergency foods, and then I go shopping and do it again. But this time I've not been able to do that. I've had to store and save the emergency foods and use them as and when I've needed to. But in general, every 3rd week I eat the stuff, the tin stuff. It's usually beans and sausages, by the way, which I absolutely adore. My 3rd week is that my diet is generally anything in tins: rice pudding, beans and sausages, spaghetti, spam, anything. In the week I go through my fruit and veg. I always buy fruit and veg, and that usually will last me from the Saturday I buy it to round about the Friday, and then what I haven't used needs to be thrown away, which is great. That can go for the animals. But we have all the other stuff. We have all the other waste. I don't want that in my van, smelling my van out. I don't want to put it outside overnight, because all the animals will come and rag the bags all over the place, and then I'll be done for fly tipping. You know, so we've got to move. I've got to move. I've got to move more so than somebody in the house, because at least I don't know what your deliveries are for the house. For sorry, not deliveries. Your bin men. I don't know if they come once a fortnight or whatever. But I can't hold a fortnight's worth of waste in my van, so I have to move. But I'm scared of moving because I don't want the pissing hassle of having to drive 4 miles and probably get stopped 3 times in that 4 miles and explain to them what I'm doing. You know, it's demoralising, it's upsetting, it's frustrating, and it makes you angry. End of the day, it makes you angry. So what am I supposed to do? If they come down with a heavy hand and say, you fuck off. I've already said, if you move me, I'll just move to another lay-by, because that's my lifestyle, that's my choice of life. I'm not knocking it, I love it. End of story, I love it, it's great. And I don't mind this being in this one position, because I'm saving so much money on fuel. 28 miles a month, and this is going to be the second month probably with round about the same miles. You know, 28 miles in comparison to 200 miles, and that's just me staying in a small area going from one place to another to sleep. If I did a journey, it might be 500 miles or something like that. There's a big difference, you know, so that's good for me in one way, but the downside to it is you're vulnerable to attack. Fortunately, the people that have been riding around in the lay-by scowling at you and taking your number and passing it over to the police like you're a wanted convict, they've either got fed up of it, or they've been stopped once or twice and been questioned what they're doing. Well, they can't say, oh, we're riding around looking for twats in lay-bys, that shouldn't be here. You know, so that's died down, and I don't get a lot of hassle. I don't get any hassle, in all honesty. I do get 1 or 2 cars giving you a sideways glance, but you know, they do that anyway. Yeah, it just pees me off. It'd be nice for it to get back to normal for everybody, or some sort of organisation where people actually understand what they can do. I mean, fancy again, they seem to think the cure is always hitting people in the pocket. It isn't always the way to hit people in the pocket. And don't ask the police to come and educate us when the fucking police want educating themselves to the laws. They don't even know the laws themselves, so how can they come and preach to us that you can't do this and you can't do that, and they can't even tell you if it's an act or it's written down and it's now become a law. They don't bleeding know. You know, so please don't come and patronise us by saying you can't do this, you can't do that, and yet they're in their cars next to each other, rubbing shoulders with each other. You know, if you've got 2 police in the car, one should be in the front and one should be in the back. If we've got to keep social distancing, they've got to keep social distancing. You know, one rule for them, one rule for us. You see them on the occasions I'm in the town. They're close together. They're virtually holding bleeding hands. You know, they're not wearing masks, they're not wearing gloves. And yet they jump on you just for getting out of your van door. Where you going? You shouldn't be doing this. What are you doing? You know. come on, let's play the white man here. Let's you know, if you're going to tell people to do something, make sure you're telling them the right thing. Just, we're all on YouTube now and we're all watching all sorts of shit. A lot of it is over the top. A lot of people are just aggravating the police to the point of getting into a brawl. Well, if that's what they want to do, they deserve it. But that's probably 10% of the population. The last thing I want to do is go out somewhere, catch the disease and pop me fucking clogs. I don't want to do that. I want to live my life, and I'll live a damn sight longer than I have done up to now. So I'm going to protect myself and look after myself. And certainly if a policeman gets too close to me, I'll protect myself. You know, my space is my space. 2 meters apart is 2 meters apart, mate. Not 1 meter apart, so you can get in my face and aggravate me. It's 2 meters. You know, it's got to be done. They'd love it if we were all stuck in the houses and they did a patrol at night. Oh, we're just going to check that man in that van's tucked up in bed at 8 o'clock, because he can't go anywhere, can he? So he might as well go to bed. You know, they'd be doing that, going round the houses next. Leave your bedroom curtains open, love, so we can get up the ladders and just make sure that you're in bed and not out in the garden or walking the dog or doing something, you know what I mean? And if you're going to commit suicide, please do it inside the house. Don't go out into the woods, because you shouldn't be walking, you know. Do it inside your house. Yeah, that'd be good for us. Yeah. Otherwise we'll find you. If we find you hanging from a tree, we'll trace you, find any of your relatives and find them 30 quid for what you've done. You've broke the bleeding lockdown rules by going for a walk unnecessarily. Yeah, that's what it's coming to, and that's what people are thinking. People cannot cope. We just cannot cope with the crap that you're getting. British people are good to conforming. Certainly when the British people get their backs up, they're good fighters. We really are. That's why we've always been a strong force when it's come to invasions and wars and things like that. But it takes the British people a long time to get their backs up. But when they've got their backs up, they get their backs up, and there's nothing nicer than revenge served cold. Really, nothing nicer. If it's 2 years after or whatever, if somebody's got a gripe about something against somebody, they will take the time. The British people will take the time, and they will get revenge at some stage or another to get it out of their system. And revenge is best served cold, because it is totally unexpected. Okay, a little tip there for you. Hold your anger in other words, and nail the bastards when they least expect it. Yeah. I don't wish to be violent at all. No. It's not my lifestyle. I'm too laid back. I'm really too laid back. But this a point is coming where I can explode, and I will explode if I need to. I certainly don't want it to happen, because at the end of the day, it'll be me that comes off worse. I'll just feel better, but I'll end up paying the price, because the only people that are winding me up at the moment some of the law enforcement officers, general public. Great, you know, it's just the odd 1 or 2 people that are really hurting. Yeah, that's enough waffling on now. I only come on to say hello, but anything. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, okay. Stay safe, be well. Speak to you soon.